Hi, Internet. So I got a bit of a farm hack here for you. For context, we've got a big, it's an old shipping container, a 20-foot one, freezer that the hardware on it has failed. So we added, standalone system. It's running 240 volt. And we use that as our freezer here on the farm. And we have run into the issue that our monitoring system failed and we maybe lost some product. We're waiting to find out. So we're trying to add some redundancy in how we monitor the temperature. And the thing that we really want is a light on top of the freezer that if the temperature is below a certain threshold is just on all the time. And if it goes above that, the light turns off. So at any point when you're walking around the farm, any person can just look over and see, oh, the light's on, great, we're all good. Oh, the light's out, we should go check on that. And maybe the bulb is just burned out, or maybe the freezer has indeed shut off and we need to call our HVAC guy to come take a look at it. So I'm rigging up a system here that'll do that for us. And I'll preface this, I am not an electrician by any means, but I don't like getting shocked and I'm not an idiot. So I'm reasonably confident in my work here. Basically, I went and bought a 50-foot extension cord. We're using that as kind of our power lines. Works out well because we can plug this into an existing outlet that's inside the freezer, and this can get run out to a light outside of the freezer. So we can just buy like a sealed outdoor work light or something. But in a nutshell, how this works, and this is a freezer specific controller, but it will work for what we need it to do. So normally you would set this at, you'd go, oh, I want my freezer to be at 10 degrees. So when the temperature goes above 10 degrees, this thermostat opens and these two poles are connected. And that sends a signal and the cooling turns on. Well, we don't want the light to just turn on when this is above it. We want it to be on all the time. So the way this switch is set up is when the temperature is below that threshold, these two poles are closed, but these two are open. So right now this circuit is complete because we are, if we were in the freezer, this circuit would be complete because the temperature in the freezer is like 6 degrees right now. But at 10 degrees, the light, these two poles are not connected. These two are, so the light would be off and I would be able to see, oh, we got a problem. And if I crank this over to 90 degrees and I stick the probe end in a cold cup of water, it opens the poles correctly. So it's kind of a little hokey little setup here, but I wanted it to be its own standalone piece, partially because I'm not an electrician. This is not going to get hardwired in for the moment. Our electrician's busy, so maybe some point in the future we'll have this hardwired in, but for right now this is a good enough system for us. The wiring's pretty simple because we're on 220. The polarity doesn't matter a ton, so we're just breaking it on the white. Black is hard together, and grounds. I don't know what code requires for metal boxes for grounding, but I've got the controller itself grounded at its screw, this box grounded, and then everybody pigtailed together. So I think that's actually overkill, because I think if you've got a metal box with EMT in between, you just have to ground at one point. So the ground screw point, it didn't have the screw in there. So we'll just, when I mount the face, we'll pinch the line in there. But yeah, that's kind of the basic idea of this. This, we're using 1/2-inch punch out, so we've got strain relievers so you can't pull these wires through if somebody tugs on it. Just regular EMT fittings here. So yeah, I'm gonna go take this and chuck it in the freezer and make sure that it's functioning the way that it's supposed to, but hopefully we got a good system here. I'll go get this thing set up and I will show you what it looks like when it's working. And this is the light in action. So I've got everything inside the freezer, but I just was sitting here waiting for this light to turn on, and it turning on confirmed that it's working. So we dropped below, I think I had it set for 25 degrees inside. So it's saying basically that the temperature is below the set threshold. And if the temperature climbs, if I go grab that controller and take it outside, that light should turn off, which I'm gonna do to double check. And then I'm gonna hang that light up there in that corner. So it's protected. And I'll just run my bit of extension cord kind of out through the door and we'll be good to go.